Hi, welcome to Universal Interiors. I'm Les Ingelstead.
And I'm Uni Begley.
And we get to share something today, right there, what's on our heart. How does that sound?
Oh,
I think it sounds pretty good. I love the fact that we get to share it all, but there's certain things that come into my mind of the day, and I think, that would be kind of a fun subject. I sure have been hearing a lot about that lately. And you can think about heart, you can think about the physical side, right? Heart strong. And that's absolutely important. But then you can also think about headstrong, what you do with headstrong people, or just having a good positive thought. We like to think of that way, or spiritually strong. And we just can't dissect we can't
Right.
pull it apart, can we?
there's no way.
Nope. Yep, out of the heart, lots of things can spill out. And I think that when I hear so much about what we're, bombarded with is the physical side of health, which is important to do that, but we sometimes neglect that thought stuff and how we think about things, and that's your emotions, and then also that of the spirit. And that hopefully means a personal thing, because so much of it needs to be you and God, you and your maker. You get that togetherness with your creator. And when we do that, we tie in and we can become healthy. One thing I learned this week I thought was so interesting, that years ago, out for a walk, nowadays we talk about it and people run all the time and walk, but it's more for the physical side. Well, years ago, Tchaikovsky, some of you may recognize, is a great musician. I believe it was Bach or Beethoven. One of them was blind, so the other guy, I think.
Blind?
Yeah, maybe one of those. And then there's a couple other inventors. They would never neglect their time of a big walk. Way back then, it was so important. But what they said it did was just clear their mind. Creative juices happen when you're out walking. I know as a believer, I just talk about going, a prayer walk. People talk about that, or what you think about when you get out. I'm not super disciplined in that yet, about getting out and walking, although I love it when people stop by. But just to get out and go walking with God is a good time to just get the juices flowing, physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Well, even scientifically, walking releases endorphins. Sometimes I've never been a huge, I'm not saying anything against people that challenge themselves physically,
Right.
or triathlons.
Bravo!
Seriously?
Yes.
But as for me and my house, we're good walkers. Well, we should be better, but I'm saying,
Right.
if I can get out and do a brisk walk, I have a walk CD that I do,
Oh,
with
nice. Yep.
But it's scientifically, it's funny because first the physical, then the spiritual. It's just kind of reiterating kind of what you're saying too.
Right. And you know that I see them walking around town, girl to girl. That's pretty popular. I love it when I get a chance to. I often think I have a great memory when my first winter here a few years ago, and my cousins come over and we're out for a walk, and it just stuck with me because I felt like it opened me up, it opened our relationship up, and it was just a simple walk. But I think that that's a very healthy approach, daily if you can. You can walk your house in the winter. I know my mom does, and she's pretty avid and looks beautiful in her age, and I know it's super important. She says physically all around, if she doesn't get herself moving, they say that something about you don't move it, you'll lose it. So you can go to the physical side of it, but I think here you and I are kind of geared up to talking about the heart, because that, my friend, is where real beauty is.
Yeah.
Don't you believe? Yeah, it's that inside heart of people that you can't hardly, you don't have to wear a sign or anything. You're going to be able to figure out what's going on in that heart with not much time.
Right.
Spend with another.
I'm also thinking too, Les, out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth speaks. And so I want to encourage you that, we're talking about we need to get better and we need to do all this. Don't think it's weird when you're on a walk, you want to settle yourself just because you want to think and you want God, the Spirit, to show you stuff. But don't let it naturally happen. Like if you're thinking about a random thought when you're walking, don't call that just nothing, like, oh my gosh, I got to get back to things of the Lord. I have been learning that more than ever. The Lord calls us to be in a restful state.
Seriously.
I don't think that he's sitting up there saying, hey,
Get
you're
back to
not thinking
subject.
about me, think about me, think about me, you are
agree
thinking about
fully.
God through all of the natural aspects of your life.
Yes, and I agree, because some people, we put pressures on it, and I never
It's
really like it, and I
unattainable.
know Uni and I both would agree to this. We don't like to be thought of as religious people, because we
Right.
are so about the friendship that we have with God, number one, top of the list. But we don't have to perform a certain way.
No.
You don't have to pray a certain way. You just have to go, like she said, sometimes it's a thought. Maybe it's a random thought. I know that I make excuses for staying in bed earlier in the morning just to have some time and some prayer time and thinking time and get my shoes on right and put the whole shield up so I can meet the day a little stronger. But try to get out of bed and go for that walk, and sometimes just empty out with the stuff that's struggling
Right.
inside of there. And if it takes you over to thinking about Patty next door, that's where you're supposed to be, perhaps. You know,
It's true.
it's so good to get out of trying to control our days, our thoughts. But the other thing on the coin is we can control those thoughts,
Yeah.
and we need to, because
That's a good point.
beats ourselves. We beat ourselves up sometimes.
Yep.
Last night I was able to work at a restaurant listening to a couple of older ladies, and they were so sad. I would listen to them talk as soon as you walked away from the table about what they didn't have and about their daughter not calling anymore, and it was like they were dwelling on this thing, and I just wanted to go, hey, let's go walking. You know, you do. You
Right.
want to get
Good
people
point.
up and out.
Good
because
point.
if you stay there, you can get so turned into that self.
So there's a difference. I need to just explain myself a little further. There is a difference between natural thought life and a negative
Yes.
thought life. You have to grab
Agreed.
those and hold those thoughts captive and give them to your creator,
Yep.
because those will kill you.
Yep. They just
Toxic.
take you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are created for it. Look around us. Nature itself screams of beauty, of love, of companionship, relationship. All of that is just stepping out the door. If you can really empty yourself out of the today and all that you have to take care of, and just get out, look up, it just would be so important. And that would come out. That beauty inside gets healed
Yeah.
and gets healthy when we release that. Because yes, we'd all love to look like that magazine girl. I mean,
Right.
stop in front of the mirror and go, oh, really? You know, we can do that, but then get over it. Then focus outside of yourself.
Because we were created to worship the Lord. That's what we were created for.
And when you do, it's a lot easier. It really is, because nobody else. I know a number of months ago I got a chance to share in the show here that the world out there, they didn't get the memo that it's all about me. They are so concerned about themselves, they really don't have time to think about you. So we got to get out of that selfish thought, like, oh, I wonder what they're thinking of me right now, versus the, let's just walk out, live the beauty that you have inside of it,
Yeah.
because that's the inner heart, and that, like you said, out of the heart, the abundance will flow.
Can I add one thing?
Please.
This is a little bit off the trail, but I had this cool revelation just yesterday. It's kind of like this is a matter of the heart too. When you go into a situation where you think, I'm going to be ministering to this person,
Okay.
you always need to be going into that situation knowing that they are going to be ministering to you too. If you go into a conversation thinking, I have what they need, and I don't,
Oh.
I'm up here because
So
they're
hear
the
ya.
ones in trouble.
Wrong. Oh.
No.
Yep. And you can use that word. We understand that when we say ministry, but it's just basically
Oh,
help.
Thank you. Right.
You know, same kind of deal.
Yes.
But that's perfect, Eunice. It is so mindful. Keep it there. Do for
cool.
others, huh? You get done to you. It's better that
Take
way.
care of him. He'll take care of you.
Yay. Thanks for joining us today. Have a beautiful day.
See you later.